Hello everybody and welcome to JGod Gaming. Today's video I'm going to be showing you a brand new series I decided to start making, and this is You Pick the Class. In this series I'm going to be looking at the comments section and taking your recommendations. And I'm not looking for classes that are just awful that you want me to go through. I'm looking for your best class setups. I'm going to try them out or make slight adjustments to improve them in some way. So for today's video we're going to actually be running the 4x scope with grip, extended mags, and rapid fire. We'll kind of see how that overall goes. So to run all four of those attachments, I had to run infantry, which I'm not really a fan of in the way it works now after they did all the division update stuff. I still prefer expeditionary, and I'll kind of explain a little bit why throughout the video. Then I'm running ordnance just because I'm playing team deathmatch, so I'm able to cycle through those score streaks a little bit easier. I'm running recon, counter recon, and a fighter pilot. So at this point in the video, I'm going to transition to a little bit of the gameplay breakdown. If you have enjoyed the video so far, or at any point you do enjoy the video, remember to hit that like button and make sure you subscribe for future content. Typically cover Call of Duty news, in-game updates, best class setups, as well as subscriber breakdowns, as well as other tip and trick videos. So if any of that sounds interesting, like I said, go ahead and subscribe with those notifications on. We'll be actually looking at two different breakdowns today. One is on St. Marie du Mont, and the second one will be Flak Tower. So with this weapon, one of the limitations with you running infantry is you're going to run out of ammo unless you run forage, which for the vast majority of players isn't really that big a deal. But as soon as you get into that 10 to 15 streak window with your gun, you will experience a little bit of difficulty unless you've picked up another weapon. The other downside with this class is actually when you're zoomed in, you lose a little bit of field of view because that ring around the 4x scope is so big. And as a result, you do block out part of your screen that you wouldn't normally block out if you were actually using a regular iron sights or even the reflex sight. And I don't know if this part's just me, but for whatever reason, you can see right there on screen that I'm missing a ton of shots. For whatever reason with this 4x scope, I always seem to miss more shots than I do with just the iron sights or even a reflex sight. And a lot of times when I use a reflex sight or even just the iron sights, I don't even need grip. I feel so accurate that this gun doesn't even need a grip. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the gameplay. So right here, I'm in the enemy spawn. I know on St. Marie du Mont, this is where they are going to spawn, this back spot to the left. I come out, go ahead and peek, and I get a couple kills there. And right now, I get in a position where I just get pinched. I see a guy, and then I know that there's a guy coming around spawn. I don't know if he's going to shoot me around this side. And then the guy ends up getting me from the window. So that's kind of just a bad scenario for me. I didn't have enough of map awareness to know that there was a guy in the building, in the window, that had a good vantage point to know exactly where I was. Also, there wasn't any teammate that had that map control to lock down the area. So as I push through in the building, I know that my teammate is upstairs. So I go ahead and put down that S-mine. I feel like there's someone up here as well. So I just got to kind of reposition, see that where my teammate is. I know I put down an S-mine because obviously S-mines are better than teammates. And that's one of the downsides with running infantry. Although I get the extra strafing speed, it doesn't help me if I get shot in the back. At the end of the day, it does not help you if you get shot in the back. That teammate put that S-mine down, but he put it way too far into the building that he's already going to be shot in the back by the time the guy gets hit by it. Since at this point I know my S-mine already went off, I know that my teammate's right behind me, kind of covering that side, but I decide to push with this guy. And then I get a kill here. I back up a little bit, call in that recon, kind of wait. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more map awareness. Only thing that can get me is a mountain guy because they don't pop up on the radar. Right here, I kind of pre-aiming, waiting, firing, and then I end up getting rushed by a third guy, and I almost get him. I just don't get enough hit markers. I was just kind of in a bad situation. Didn't expect for him to be there, but the other two came around the corner, fully expected. And you can see the power of actually running a fighter pilot, especially if you get that little bit of recon action right before. I know where they're coming from. Get a nice little triple kill with the standard one, not even the blitzkrieg one. If you have been a subscriber a while, you know that I'm playing this map just a little bit differently because I'm running with infantry instead of the expeditionary. So I continually can block those stairway in the middle building and kind of lock that area down. Put that S-mine there, knowing that I cleared out that area. And now my back is kind of covered on that side. But now I'm trying to push through the middle of the map, trying to take that guy out, wall bang, because you can wall bang with the rifle. You can with the SMGs. It's just going to take a lot of shots, and LMGs are obviously the best at it, unless you have FMJ or you're running armored. So either way, one of those, I would have been able to shoot through the wall a little bit easier. So right here, I'm kind of posted up, knowing that there's someone trying to peek around our spawn. And that's really what I'm trying to do. It looks like the guy snuck through into our building, and my teammate's S-mine happens to take him out. So I know that that spot's clear. I decide, okay, let me push back through middle of the map. Looks like all the enemies are straight in front of us, pretty much in this building. They're in control of the map, and it does look like I do have one teammate that's kind of sneaking around looking for a flank. But right here, I know I'm positioned in a good way. I'm just kind of backing up. I don't know if the guy had a shotgun or anything. The only variable I have to go off is that my gun will excel at that medium to long range. So by backpedaling, I'm increasing that distance. which will allow me to win more of the gunfights, just depending on which gun I go against, obviously. I relocated to make sure I was in a safe spot before I call in this fighter pilot, because I don't want to die while calling it in. But I also want to make sure that while I'm in the air, I'm also doing a little bit of recon to find out where people are. So I took out that guy, and I can see this guy on the left. He's trying to flank around into our spawn. So immediately after I get that triple kill with the fighter pilot, I come around this area knowing that someone's here, and then I actually hear the guy. He end up moving around this side. I take him out. So that's sometimes what you got to be aware of, is when you have these different streaks going on, you should do everything in your power to gain as much information as you can. And the same goes for a glide bomb. When you call in that glide bomb, it's going to mark where everyone's at that doesn't have mountain, and you'll get a good indication of where people are at, so you can actually reposition and know where you need to go. And I showed kind of a perfect demonstration of what I'm talking about. So right here, I'm going to pushing through spawn. I know where my teammate is. I know he's kind of on this left side, and I'm thinking maybe somebody's going to peek around here, but it ends up looking like they're all around this back left side. Right here, I'm just pre-aiming, knowing that the guy's going to come out. Easy kill there. I'm not sure if the spawns are going to flip, but it looks like they're still back in this area. So I'm just pre-aiming, trying to make sure if they come out of this area, I will be able to pick them off. You can see that I end up picking up that kill just because I reacted quick enough. And at this point, it looks like the spawns went back to that corner section. So I'm calling in that fighter pilot, thinking they're going to be running out of there, so I could get an extra couple kills. Although it does look like a good amount of them are in the middle of the map, it still looks like they could be spawning in this back area. That's why I'm kind of pre-aiming this area, thinking that they're still coming out of that hard spawn, because that is a hard spawn to flip. So right here, it looks like we probably started to flip it completely. That was just the last straggler that spawned there. We come around here kind of looking at what's going on, and it looks kind of like the spawns are split at the moment, because where our teammates are positioned, they're all the way in the middle of the map, so they could be spawning on opposite sides. Right here, I do fire the weapon, and instead of finishing that guy off, I decide to back off, come around, and that ends up costing me a death. I do get a little bit of assist there. I go ahead and shoot this guy. Again, getting shot in the back. I probably would have cleaned up that guy that was in front of me, but that guy that I shot at, he decided to actually come back, which is very odd. It just typically doesn't happen, because he would have probably thought I was just waiting, pre-aimed, ran out, and I would have probably killed him. So it's very odd behavior, but all in all, you can see the gun does perform pretty well. It's not a bad class setup, but there are things that, like I said, I would normally change up. But because of the way that this class is set up, I had to adjust my playstyle to fit the weapon instead of trying to make the weapon fit my playstyle. At this point, we're going to transition to our flak tower gameplay. I'm going to give you a quick reminder of what that class setup is, but if you're enjoying the video so far, do remember to hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, still watching, probably click that subscribe button with notifications on so you don't miss out on future videos. So for this one, you are going to see that not having forage and not having expeditionary actually bit me in the butt. And that's one thing I'll point out, is if you don't necessarily want to change up that thing just because you don't typically go on 10, 15, 20 plus streaks, then I wouldn't change that at all. The first change I would do to this class is to run expeditionary so that I can actually have that double S mine, guard my back. Like right here, the guy wouldn't have been able to run in. I would have had a little setup there. Since I do have a teammate anchoring spawns AFK, that doesn't necessarily help. The other part is I would be able to get unlimited ammo, so I'd be able to go on longer streaks. But since I'd only have 3 attachments, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the attachments that I would use based off having a 4x scope. Still going to run the 4x scope. I'd probably drop the grip, keep the extended mags and rapid fire, or maybe even swap out that rapid fire for high caliber. The other alternative to that is if you're going to run the 3 attachment and you don't mind the iron sights, I would say keep the grip, keep the extended mags, keep rapid fire if you want that consistency of kills. And those are just a few of the changes I would make, but obviously everyone has a difference in preferences. But for the playstyle that I had to use in this one, you do have to play a little bit further back. In this case, I was trying to make sure that I was safe when coming out of spawn, because we kept getting kind of spawn trapped, and I decided to play a little bit smarter, and that's what you have to do when I do my gameplays. You can see I ended up taking this guy out. I was kind of prepared that he was coming around the corner. Then right here, I'm trying to peek through this window, seeing if I can get an easy kill. I do throw a little bit of flashbang there. It does go off. And then now I know, okay, this guy should be coming around. Luckily, I do pull the trigger quick enough there, get a little bit of luck on the hip fire, and wait for this little recon to come in. Expecting this guy to come through, go ahead and take him out. And that's why recons are so important for map awareness. You can see S-mines. If I placed one further ahead, we're going to probably be in a better spot, or place one back here. You can cover my back. Since I don't have the S-mine, I got to back up. It's a little bit better sight line. I do have my fighter pilot ready to go. Go ahead and take that guy out, and it's pretty good being able to maintain the sight line. Right here, I'm just peeking, waiting, seeing if I can get the kill, and somehow I get absolutely melted off that head glitch. I'm not sure how I missed all those shots, but I did. It is what it is. Then I come through over here, get a little bit of cleanup, and then I'm looking at where the people are at. Looks like they're mainly in mid-building, so I got another triple kill. I tend to get lots of triple kills with the fighter pilot. I know a lot of people don't like it for whatever reason, but I did a complete guide on how to use it more effectively, and I tend to get triple kills on a regular basis. And this is the normal one without even the Blitzkrieg variant, which allows you to fly longer, higher, so you get a better vantage point. So right here, I'm just kind of peeking. I know that they should all be on the right side of the map. still have that teammate in spawn. I have another guy behind me, and then most of them are on this left side of the map. So right here, I'm kind of pushing up, knowing that my teammate's on that left side. So he should have that angle. I go ahead and take this guy out. Luckily, he's running with the pistol. He didn't land a single shot. But I'm right here trying to maintain that head glitch. And based on the mini map, I can tell that all my teammates are on the same side of the map as I am. So I'm going and pre-aiming this little section, seeing where people are at. My teammate ends up taking that guy out, and then just kind of peeking that middle right side, and then they start spawning on the back again. So I just kind of rotate, and I'm just listening to what the spawns are telling me. I go ahead and peek out just a little bit. I know the guy's right there. I peek out, get a quick little kill, melt him off there, and I know the guy's gonna chase, so I go ahead and go prone. And this is just a case of outsmarting the opponent, because he was expecting me to already be running. He was gonna shoot me in the back, so I take him out right away, and now you can see the spawns immediately flip. I call that fighter pilot since I feel good about them not crossing the map that quickly, and then I go ahead and start taking them out mid-map. Take the guy on the right side, and the intel I could gather from flying overs, I know that there's a guy at mid-map, and then I know most of the enemies are coming out of their spawn. You can see them on the radar going off every time it passes by, that I get a good indication of where they're coming from. So I peek up this way, knowing that my teammate's shooting that guy there, pre-aiming. You can see the mini-map is going off, and then I'm trying to look at where this guy is. I don't necessarily take that guy out, but my teammate does. And then now you reload, make sure I'm full ammo as I come around the corner. See, I only have about 65 bullets left. I go prone. I'm not on the mini-map right here. As long as I don't fire the weapon, looks like the spawns flip again. And I'm deciding, okay, let's call in this fighter pilot again. So then now I know that they're all spawning around this left side. Take them out at mid, take that guy out, and then kind of try and see where everyone else is. Looks like the rest of them are mid-map, so I go ahead and rotate back. Since my strategy has to be just a little bit different than it normally is, from hanging out in that middle building and kind of just rotating a little bit back and forth, looking, peeking the left and right, and holding down the middle of the map, I kind of got to reposition. Right here, I only got 15 bullets, so I know that I can only engage maybe 2 people max. Make sure I get to full health, making sure I know what the mini-map is telling me. It looks like our spawn is clear. They all should be in front of us. So I go ahead and kind of rotate up here thinking, okay, I need at least 1 kill, and then I do have to pick up another weapon. And that's definitely a mistake I made, because normally 90% of my classes have that expeditionary. I don't have to worry about ammo. So during the streak, at some point, I probably could have picked up a weapon by somebody, and I would have actually been in a better position. Right here, knowing that I only have 15 bullets, I have to change my playstyle just a little bit. I go ahead and shoot that guy. I know I have 5 bullets left. I'm not sure if there's a guy coming around the corner here. I decide, okay, I'm going to use my fighter pilot. I don't have enough ammo. I'm not going to trust that teammate. And I go ahead and take that guy out as he comes out of the building, and take out the guy who's behind me. So I know there's another one peeking up around, and I didn't really expect there to be another guy. I do pick up the ammo, and then I go to reload. He only has 18 bullets in there, and I end up getting killed. The guy has a rifled grenade, so that's not always a good thing. The guy was running mountain. He wasn't popping up on a recon. So a lot of different factors there ended up getting me killed. Number 1 is I didn't pick up a weapon on the streak. Number 2, I didn't have that unlimited ammo. And then right here, I get absolutely demolished by this rifle grenade. But that's pretty much going to wrap up the video. If you guys did enjoy it anyway, do remember to hit that like button. If you wanted me to use your best class setup, make sure you comment down below with your favorite class setup, and I'll go ahead and give that a try for a future video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe with those notifications on, because you're obviously enjoying the video. See you guys all in the next one. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.